We did it! We survived our first SMP! This is where it all started. This is where we spawned. This is where we first met Tobes. And where Lane spawned right behind us. It's where we got our first food. And set our first spawn at our first bed. Welcome to Craftworks SMP. Help yourself. So I thought it would be fun to take a quick tour of all of the stuff that we've accomplished, or that I've accomplished in this last season. Starting off with the OG, of course. Hello, Wagon. Aww. This is my very first build on the SMP. I got the Crimson Wood that we went on our first nether trip with Millie and Emmy, and it has since been crowded with a mailbox that Cap stuffed all of his carrots and potatoes in, and I may or may not have thrown some beetroots in, and the Christmas tree that Zink gave me. And then the inside of it is still so cramped. And I forgot I didn't put any lights in here. Of course I didn't. But yeah, we had the extra storage barrels in the floor and all of the chests. All of this was miscellaneous, apparently. I think this is the lore. Yup, this is the lore chest. Of course, behind it, we had the mining hole. L accidentally started without realizing that I was building here. But then I just used it to make my mud farm, which I think, yep, it's still usable. And then there was the tag quiz. Welcome to the Empress Little Bit quiz. And this was just episode 1. What else did we do? Well, while it rains, I think I can... Oh, hi. This is the conduit we used for the pumpkin monster's heartbeat. I forgot about that. I'm gonna show you guys the inside, the interior that I did for Lane. And apparently there's a Tobes head here. Hi, Tobes. But yeah, welcome to the Lucky Lane Tavern. This was one of my very first interiors that I did. Yeah, the lucky numbers 7, 0, and 42, of course. And then the pool table that got me the job at Inner Beauty, along with the roulette tables. And I love all the mini blocks that he put around here now. And I did out here as well. Gave him a little reading nook. Oh, and there's his head. And over here we have the hot tub. There's Gerald. Hi, Gerald. But yeah, this is where Emmy and I reenacted the Titanic at the front of Cap's boat. Oh, what happened next? That would have been the moss pit. Oh, no, I need to fly. Let me fly. Oh, there it is. This was my first really big build. There's the moss pit, you guys. Oh, this was my first large-scale build that I ever did. And I remember this being completely without any plan whatsoever. But this is where Lane and I started our greenery business. This is where I started doing the glass roofs. I forgot about that. Oh, this looks kind of cool still. And I never put the rest of the glass in this farm. We were never short on cactus. Yeah, we have all the cactus farm and the moss farm and the lichen farm, all of which are incredibly efficient because Lane's a genius. And then we have the storage down here with all the, is it all, yep, yep. And there's a witch back there. That's fine. And then we had the vines down here. I want to look at the roof again. Oh, I forgot about this patchwork roof. I need to do this in another build sometime. And the next thing that we did was actually over on this path over here. We go past all of Millie's absolutely gorgeous decor. There it is. We can see the alpha test of Mafia Theater with the 2 changing rooms on either side. So I have those on either side. And then there was the execution chambers. Does it still have the lava in them? It does still have the lava in them. Back when I actually unalived people for this game. But yeah, there's a spawn bed. And then, yep, there's the ladders that I hid behind the curtains. All of the extra items that I might need. And an ender head for some reason. And this is where I control all the doors and the lights in each of the chambers. And I use the signs to keep track of everybody. And then I have ladders everywhere because we didn't have wings yet, so I had to climb up and down manually. And this is everybody's rooms. And I had to put the banner there so that they couldn't see out the window to see who was in each room. It's the dispenser that gave them their item, and there's a lava bucket that wound up unaliving them. So much has changed. So much has changed for Mafia Theater now. Oh, Halloween was such a good episode. This is when I got to know everybody probably the most was during this event. It was one of the very first big events for Craftworks. Oh, what happened next? What happened next? Hold on. That's right, the Froglight Farm. Forgot about the Froglight Farm. Oh. This is why I brought my sack. That's right, I forgot about the Froglight Farm. We should go check that out. Yep, I was right. There it is. This was my very first large-scale farm. I had never built a farm like this before, and this was my first time following a tutorial and trying to figure out coordinates and redstone contraptions, such stuff like that, and Minecraft physics. And it's still going. It's still working. It's still overflowing. Oh my crow, this thing was so efficient. I wanna look at the froggos. I wanna see how they're doing. Yeah, they're still doing their jobs. They're still numbing. I gotta follow the torches all the way back. And then there was the nether portal stream. I forgot about that. That was one of my first long streams, was making the nether portal. Decorating all of this with Lane during that very first, I think it was a 2 or 3 hour stream that day. It took us 2 or 3 hours just to come up with this edge bit that's around the nether portal right now. Forgot about that too. See, this is why we do the tour, so that we can remember. Ooh, what happened after that? What happened next, guys? Oh, the pumpkin war. That's right. We found something. We found something during the pumpkin war. I forgot. Ooh, and the weather is spooky enough for the transition. We gotta go back to Zink's old house. Zink's new house, I mean. Sorry. Is this it? I think this is the basement. Oh, nope, that's just a secret tunnel, apparently. Well, Zink, I am now in your house. I'm sorry. Does he have basement access from here? He does. Okay, if we go down these stairs here and then through this secret painting, oh so secret, then we'll make it to the pumpkin room for the pumpkin war that we had last October. We'll go back to the village. The secret village that we found during the pumpkin war climax. And this is where we found all of the lore stories for how the charred pumpkins. I forgot about that. This is when we found out about the ancient Gordian, or Gordzilla, we used to call him. So in case any of you were wondering, I made the ruins here because we were all trying to figure out what the climax of the pumpkin war was going to be. And Millie and I combined our brains to figure out, what if it's an outside source? What if it isn't just Zink? What if there's something more sinister and nefarious going on that involves a giant pumpkin monster that was based off of an iron golem that had gone rogue? So that was my very first time writing lore with somebody else, which was super fun. And also my first time doing lore with somebody else in general, which was also amazing. This was one of my favorite experiences on Craftworks, was the Pumpkin War, just learning how to work with other people and combine our brains and our efforts and our creativity to make a really cool story. I'm happy that he kept this. I'm happy that he kept the ruins and the room and the everything and the pumpkins and the yay. And then after the pumpkin war died down, what did we do? Because I think that was right before everybody started leaving to go to their own base areas, their mega bases and such. No, wait. I forgot something important. I forgot something very important during all of that, because we had to take a break from the pumpkin stuff for a while. Because we had other things that we had to do. We had to progress in the game. We had to fight the Ender Dragon. And we had to fight the Ender Dragon not for wings, not for clout, not for experience. We needed it for something bigger, something greater, something that had not been done before. And that was to hollow out the entire End Island. Naturally, we had to hollow out the entire End Island for our shopping district. This took us like a full 2, maybe even 3 weeks just to hollow out this entire End Island. And this was a group project. Almost everybody pitched in to hollow out this entire island. Some of us were a little more into it. Some of us just had to get this finished. Oda, you were a madman. Okay, yeah, it was totally worth it. This is so cool. This was such a unique experience. And by unique, I mean it was character building. We wound up hauling out a total of 1,094,104 endstone blocks just for our shopping district. And that's not including the end stone that wound up in the void. But yeah, this was also the first time that I started making shops was down here. And that's where my Froglight shop came from. I don't remember what his name was. Was it Herbert or something like that? But yeah, this is where my Froglight shop came from, or became. This is what my Froglight shop became, was a giant frog. Not only that, but I was also in charge of decorating and building the moss pit shop, which wound up being in these little hobbit holes that Ellen and I made. The natural district in the shopping area is still going on. It's still beautiful though. There it is. That's the moss pit shop. I remember this one was incredibly nerve-wracking because I had to build this directly over the void because I just had to have that view. I just had to have a view of the end lights. And then of course we had to have the greenery aesthetic, all the tables, and I don't think we've made any sales. Lane is in charge of sales. Hi, sorry, I put you in a bush. Lane is in charge of sales. He usually gives me my cut. But yeah, that's the moss pit. Again, with the glass roof. I forgot about those. I need to make those again. But once we had finished up with the end stuff, that was when we started working on Mafia Theater. Again, one of my biggest builds that I have ever made, ever. But yeah, we had the walkway up to it. I remember Millie helping me out with some of the decor around the side so that it didn't feel so plain. And then of course Millie had to leave her mark over here as well. And then we had the extensions that we had to put on in order to get the redstone to sit correctly. Thank you, Lane, for helping me with this again. You are a genius. Thank you. This was also one of my first experiences with working with redstone myself, because I was the one that came up with the sticky piston idea to drag out all of the floor bits out from underneath the player's feet. Did someone blow up my door? That's just rude. That's gonna stay there. The round windows. I need to do more round windows on builds. And then the interior for this one as well was very interesting. As you can see, Millie's mushrooms are spreading. Thank you, Millie. I love you, but why? The interior was interesting because this was meant to be a very open concept place, because this is where most of the magic happened for the theater, was in the center where people schemed and connived and blamed and pointed fingers and such. Then I remember the interiors for each of these rooms having to find something that I could color coordinate for each room. Not just for the players to know which room they were in, but also for me to know what they were in. And then trying to figure out all of the stuff that they could fiddle with, because I remember everybody complaining that the rooms in the beta test theater were so boring because there was absolutely nothing in those rooms. So I took those into account and I added a bunch of things that they could fiddle with and jump on and parkour across. And I also gave them a book to, oh gosh, I gave them a book to write in. I should never have given them a book to write in. And then I had these two other sections that I didn't know what to do with. So I figured out what is practical. So of course, I built a library because I knew that there would be people writing books, and I knew that people would need to know the roles that were being played. So I put those over here. And then while this game wasn't supposed to end in death, so many people died, so I had to put a bed here for people to put their spawn on. And then of course there was the rule book, and then learning about Minecraft mechanics with powdered snow, keeping me from having fall damage whenever we were done with the round, so I could just yoink down here if I needed to. And then the redstone back here, that's in charge, that powers all of the doors. I remember wanting to keep that exposed because Lane did such a good job on this, and the way it lines up right here, it just looks like an eye. Ooh, I have to work with 3D illusions more often. This was that was just a happy little accident. I love it when happy little accidents happen like that. Had all of the rugs that I love to do with all of the furnaces that I love shoving stuff inside of. I forgot about that. And then of course there was the honey vaders. Again, learning how to use Minecraft mechanics. Oh, and then the heart that Millie gave me during Valentine's Day after I came back. Of course, there was all of the levers that opened and closed the floor, and everybody's heads that I used to label who was in what room, all the roles. And then, of course, there was the most special part about this place. It's my apartment. I think this is one of my favorite places on the server because there's just so much stuff here that... There's so much stuff here that just reminds me of all the happy things that happened. The fish head that Lane gave me for the end heist, all of my friends' heads, all the fun heads that I wound up collecting, including my 2 boss heads that I got. Oh, and my fish. I forgot about my fish. Hey, dude. I think I still have, yeah, I still got my special box with all of the horns that Lane and I farmed for. I think that was just yesterday, actually. I actually want to show you guys what these sound like. Yeah. But of course, there's also my all-time favorite one. Thank you, Zink. And then after I came back, everybody had started going to their big old bases. I forgot about you. We can't forget about Dancy Toothless the Scraggin. I say he's a dragon. Zink says he's a squirrel. We're gonna argue about what he is for the rest of eternity. And I am now scarred for life. Every time I try to build an organic now, it winds up looking like something else entirely. But I'm still calling him a scraggin. You are going to haunt my nightmares. But I still love you. After all of that, though, is when... No, wait. I forgot. We had a little bit of a side gig going on this whole time as well with Millie. Welcome to Inner Beauty. This is where Millie and I started our interior design business. She made the design, of course, because Millie is great at that. She and I collabed, combined our brains again to make all of these interior things, obviously. Because of the table, make this interior design store, and I loved this. Again, probably up there on my list of favorite things that happened during Craftworks was starting this business with Millie. Millie had to take most of the interior design requests because we had started the business right as I had gotten sick. But as soon as I came back, there was quite a big order for me. We're gonna head back to the Nether because goodness knows we gotta go a long way to get to where we need to go. This is the world border right here. Jittery, why would you do this to us? It was worth it though, because it was a very good experience, because it gave us the chance to collab, both Jittery and Millie, create the largest interior I had ever done. Is there still stuff in here? There's still stuff in here. Welcome to Definitely Not Haunted, Hide and Seek the Mansion. I got the pleasure of doing all of these interiors in the span of a full week of just building. This was the longest building session I had ever done, and definitely one of the most detailed I've ever done as well. So we had the foyer leading up to the mud room, leading up to the crafting room and the laundry room, over to the billiards room and the music room with all the banjos and the cello and the drum kit, and the living room, the big bathroom, parlor, dining room, and the kitchen that Jittery and I collabed on, pantry, hallway leading to the bedroom, other bedroom, and then the master bedroom that Jittery and I worked on together, and the master bathroom. There was also the art room and the plant room, and then upstairs was pretty much all Millie, who did this gigantic library, multi-story library, I might add. And then I was in charge of these 2 side rooms, which was the study. Yeah, because over here was the potion room. But the fun part, I think the best part about this house was that everything here was interconnected. Behind the bookcases, slide down here, and you'd wind up on the 2nd story, even further downstairs, all the way to Narnia. Welcome to Narnia. Or you could wiggle your way through these trapdoors. You could go through the wardrobe into the lounge. There are so many more secret passages that we made for this place, but you're gonna have to check out our hide and seek videos to see where those are, because even I don't even know where all of them are. So go check out Jittery, Millie, and my hide and seek videos to find even more hiding spots and secret passages. But even after all of that, I personally don't think that any of that holds a candle to the experience I got from doing this very last build. And all of you know what's coming. It was my very first experience with building large scale with a sense of ambiance and world building, with both agriculture and industrialism in mind. Of course, It's the Utopia Island. So many hours of work were put into this. Not just my hours, I might add. Lane is the one responsible for the giant tree, which gave me a base to work off of. Let's start from the beginning, which was the barn right here. This is where it all started, where everything had, excuse me, troubled water. This is where everything got started with the color palette, the shape of everything, the roof style. This is me throwing out ideas and trying to find what works best for this entire society, this entire community. Honestly, not a palette I would have ever worked with before, but I am so glad I got to work with it now. Of course, crammed inside of it is all of the stuff and storage and smelting and other smelting that I never wound up doing. There's so many chests with so much random stuff inside. And of course, there was the upstairs with all of my personal storage and the bed that's no longer there and the lore book. And of course, there was the stairs up here because I knew there was gonna be a bridge leading to the community over here. But after building the barn, I realized how much iron I would need to build all of these houses, and I asked, hey Lane, is it okay if I traumatize the both of us and build an iron farm that will inevitably break all of your redstone downstairs? And he, not knowing any better, said, sure, absolutely. But I am so happy we got this iron farm up and running. It was a pain to make and a pain to fix everything down there, but it was an easy fix, as Lane told me. I've been thoroughly forgiven both by Lane and myself now, so yay. But yeah, this thing has been pumping out iron since, yeah, oh, my crow. Okay, we need to fix this. We need to fix this. This is my first time building with any large amounts of iron. And this is also where the stair design came from that I replicated multiple times over during this building process. And this still has nothing inside of it, but I'll leave that for BIT to figure out. And then of course we had all of the houses. Thanks, Lane. I love and hate that horn at the same time. And then we had our very first house designs. I believe this was the very first one, but unfortunately I lost the time lapse for this one. This is where we figured out all the designs for everything, where we figured out where the observers were going to go for the lore stuff. And I figured that all of these houses have to be incredibly uncomfortable because nobody should want to live here, because the people need to be outside working and not inside lounging. Figuring out all the different ways to arrange the furniture and the observers and the lanterns and even just the bedrooms. Seeing how many different ways I could do this in different shaped spaces was definitely a good experience for me, and I will definitely be taking that into other large-scale builds. This house, or one of the diagonal houses, is probably my favorite. I still love this diagonal door. This diagonal door still makes me very happy. And this was also my first time building diagonally, and I am very happy that it worked with these designs. It was easier to replicate the diagonal bits because all you had to do was turn a rectangle into an equally sized rectangle. Yeah, actually it was the same size, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. It just required a couple more blocks to replicate it because of the doubling over bits like this. Of course, I had to put another diagonal door over here because they just make me so happy. And then I never got the paths decorated or anything, but I think I'm okay with that. We're just gonna keep it rural for now. Why is rural? Why is that such a hard word to say? Why is this such a hard word to say? Ah, yes, the recreational areas. This was a last-minute adjustment to all of the Utopia stuff. I realized later, very far into building all of this, that the Utopian people would need a place to rest other than their houses, because they couldn't just be farming stuff all the time. So they could be eating lunch here, they could be hanging out with other people here. I was originally going to have games and stuff here as well, but I ran out of time, so I just threw a bunch of chairs and tables everywhere. That's the secret to all interior design, is just throw a couple chairs and tables everywhere and call it good. And then there was the bridge that I put over here, mostly because I had to cover up Lane's... What is he doing? I had to cover up Lane's study down there so people wouldn't get suspicious. And then there was the lamp designs that we threw everywhere across the island because I was sick of the torch spam. And then, of course, there's all of the fields. so many fields, and I'm not replanting that. But yeah, I finally get to frolic, you guys. I finally get to frolic. Look at me frolicking. How so frolicable. If you have never frolicked through a field in real life, I apologize, because it is life-changing and you'll never want to do anything else ever again except frolic through a field. And of course, there was the very last project that Millie and I had to get finished, and that was the interior of the community tree. Evidently, it is a rushed job, but we did not want to break any more of the tree that Lane had painstakingly created. The actual tree took Lane, I think, 3 or 4 days to make, so I absolutely did not want to touch the actual tree. I did not want to break anything. I did not want to add too much to it at all. So the most I did was add a couple doorways here and there and just attached a bridge to it. That is it. And then of course he left the tree hollow for me to do whatever I wanted with, so I decided, since I need the community center to be in the center of the island anyway, I would just make this the community center. So this is where the announcements would happen and people would gather and sit and let people know how their jobs were doing and what they might need or not need, or any sort of conflicts that might rise up. And of course there was the back staircase that honestly was not necessary, but I thought it added a cool dimension to all of this. The people in the barn would likely be in charge of all of the Utopia stuff, would have a back entrance just to listen in and see what was going on, and then immediately be able to sneak back to sneak back through the very faulty door back to the barn, where they could do their nefarious stuff secretly, sort of, I guess. I don't know. The story was very rushed, unfortunately, and I wasn't able to finish up all the stuff that I would have liked to prep in a good story. But ultimately, the Utopia story was getting very hard for me to continue with, because as a story writer, I actually don't necessarily like the dystopian genre. And here I was writing one. Obviously, I am very happy to be done with this, but I'm also happy with myself for at least finishing it to a small degree, especially because it gave me so much good experience and things to put in my pockets for next time when I write a story and build a story and world build anything in general. I am very happy with Utopia. I am very happy with the story that came out of it, and I am very happy with myself for even trying. I think I tried very well, and I think I succeeded. This is so good, though. This is such a great experience. I don't know where to finish this. Oh, bridge. I just remembered. I gotta fly all the way back to spawn now. I forgot to show you guys the little bridge. Look at this thing. This is the bridge that me and Zinc made back when Mafia Theater wasn't attached to anything else yet. Why is there a book down there? Okay, I'm curious now. What be you? Why is you here? Get someplace where we're not drowning. Ugh. Okay, what is this? If you found this book, then congratulations, you are a very curious person. You are a very curious person, not a curious, very curious. Allow me to tell you what I really think of the crafters. Lane and I have been friends since the beginning. Lane reached out to me to draw his profile picture, which then led to me announcing my intentions of friendship, which then led him to inviting me to Craftworks. Now here we are, still friends, just with more friends. Oda has been kind to me since the beginning. He was one of the first people to see my potential. He's always encouraged me to continue building and is fast to help any friends in need. Oda is also the one that began Craftworks, so thank you, Oda, for starting this entire experience for all of us. Emmy is an absolute joy to be around. She is the definition of warmth. Being around her is like being in a perpetual hug. Safe and comforting. Nard is evidently talented and dedicated to his art. The man is humble and creative with a strong sense of beauty. Cube is the one that encourages us all to think outside of the box. On day one, he built the most beautiful house out of dirt, which then led us all to say, well, if Cube can make dirt look good, what's stopping me from creating this? Argon is what I can only explain as the father of the group. He is quick to make sure everyone is involved in an activity or shenanigan. He takes things slow and plays for the sake of having fun. Something that we all forget too often. Toblox finds any block and makes it beautiful. Just walking through any area that he's barely touched will prove that. Tobes was also the first to say hello to me when Craftworks started. He has the kindest heart and will always be the first to make sure that you are well taken care of. Jittery is the coziest of us all. You can feel it in her presence. She's able to make even the scariest situations more bearable just by being jittery. Her builds reflect this just as much as her videos do, because you are always safe with Jittery. Elle is the one that never shies away from a challenge, whether that be building a purple roof on day 1 or slaying in the arena, but on the other side of that coin is a woman with a strong, beautiful heart that can only show love. She may be fierce, but she is full of love. Impala, I realized after a while, shows his love in the best way he knows how. One minute he'd be one-shotting you with a bow, and the next he's checking in to make sure that I have enough food to get me through the next building session. The man is the definition of brotherly love. Cap is an incredibly talented individual. Cap patiently helped me with multiple projects both in and outside of Minecraft. His dedication to both his endeavors and all of ours is something inspiring. He carries a strong people-oriented work ethic that the world should pay attention to. Millie has a heart of gold. She was the first to show me the ropes of Craftworks and how things can or could be done. She opens her arms to all possibilities and outcomes and embraces them as they are. She is one who will always cheer you on in every scenario. I honestly did not expect to befriend Zinc. It wasn't until the day that we built the bridge that I found out what a strong-hearted and wise man he was. He has since helped encourage me to become a better person and embrace myself for who I am. He is a good man, and he is my friend. Thank you, Craftworks.
Psst. Hey, there is a PS in the book, and it's for you. Yeah, you watching this video. Listen to this.
You know how I bug you every video to drink water and eat food and touch grass? Because they care about you, and I want you to take care of yourself. I don't know you, not personally, but I do care, just like you all care for me. I know I say it every video, but thank you so much for choosing me to watch and supporting me and my friends. Out of all the content you could be enjoying, you decided to enjoy this chaotic content. I think that makes you a pretty cool person. Now go take care of yourself. I will see you guys next time on Craftworks Season 2. Love you guys! Bye! I love you! Bye! Bye! Oh gosh, I'm gonna cry. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna cry, because it's not the end. It's not the end. It's not the end, bunny. Love you guys. Bye. Lane. Bye. Go eat. Don't eat and touch grass. Wait, no. Don't eat and touch grass. Don't eat grass. Please don't do that. It's very earthy.